More than 150 countries have been hit with ransomware. This is essentially malware that encrypts data on an individual's or a company's computer system, which they will not be able to get any access of unless they pay a certain amount to these hackers. Now, the malware, known as WannaCry, paralyzed computers running factories, banks, government agencies, and transport systems, hitting 200,000 victims in more than 150 countries. Among those hit were Russia's Interior Ministry and companies including Spain's Telefonica and FedEx Corp in the United States. The virus took control of users' files and demanded $300 payments to restore access. I should also note that if the individuals impacted by this didn't pay the $300 within a certain amount of time, they would double the ransom amount. And then later, if they didn't pay, they would threaten these individuals by saying they would erase the data completely. More than 200,000 computers have been affected so far, and authorities and politicians in various countries are expecting the malware, or I should say ransomware, to evolve and continue to impact even more computers. BBC analysis of 3 accounts linked to the ransom demand suggests about 38,000 had been paid by Monday morning.
You know, that's actually not that much, and as I look at this, I'm a little more worried. Now, why is that? They were expecting a bigger hit on Monday than they got over the weekend. They didn't get that. And it almost, to me, as I read through all the stories explaining it, felt like a trial run. So let's see what we can do. Now, if they were only got $38,000 so far, and they were sophisticated enough to steal stuff from the NSA and unleash it on the whole world, China, Russia, Indonesia, the US, UK, etc. And you only, I mean, again, they'll get a little bit more by the end, but that's not a big hit, right?
Has the NSA ever achieved anything worth it?
That's a great question.
Other than spying indiscriminately on Americans and not being smart enough to protect their own strategies from hackers who have now used their strategies against not only the American people, but 150 other countries.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm reading a history of the CIA, and one of the biggest, their top counterintelligence guy whose job was to catch communists, in a span of over 20, 25 years, never caught anyone. He wrote a lot of people out of town, and they were all false accusations, so destroyed the careers of good Americans. And it turns out the top Russian spy was his best friend. So that's usually their track record, right? So now, in this case, both the CIA and the NSA have top secret stuff that they have figured out, especially, but let's focus on the NSA portion here, because that's what's in the news today, about the vulnerabilities of Microsoft Windows. So now Microsoft says, hey, schmucks, tell us so we can fix it so that we're not, the whole world is not exposed to these kind of dangers, right? And then NSA goes, no, I want to keep it because I might want to use it against my enemies. But I'm going to keep it on a computer, which I can't protect. Oops, they hacked into it and got it and now have unleashed it throughout the world. And it looks like they just did a trial balloon. Wait till they can do the real thing. Oh, for Christ's sake. I mean,
it is
look, I'm sorry, Adam, one more thing. I mean, to give you a sense of scope, like hospitals, schools, right? As you know, we talked about here. But like gas stations, malls, power plants. So if you actually, they could send messages to the whole world. They could shut down nuclear power plants. God knows what happens when that happens, let alone all the information they've already taken from hospitals. And if they delete them, then there goes your files, etc. It could be untold, historic, epic damage if this virus goes global and hits all the computers.
I mean, this virus has gone global. It's just what the hackers have used the virus for, which is to collect relatively small sums of money, to be fair. Like you're right. I mean, you would think that they would ask for more than $300 or they're not asking for $300, they're asking for 300 in Bitcoin. $300 worth of Bitcoin. So I think what's also interesting about this is, yes, schools, hospitals, small businesses and even large businesses have been impacted by this. But also keep in mind, according to BBC Technology, in Japan, both Nissan and Hitachi reported some units had been affected. I mean, think about all the people who are gonna suffer from not being able to purchase their personal massage devices as a result of this. We need to do something immediately. Okay, I'm joking around, obviously, but you know what I mean.
So the Chinese industry's been hit, and even the Russians were hit. Their interior ministry was hit. Now, no one knows who did it, but if you were going to do all these hits, you would certainly hit yourself a little bit as well to throw people off the track. I'm not putting it on the Russians. I have no idea who did it, okay? But don't worry, NSA is on top of it. Like Anna said, have you ever done anything positive? You've spied on all Americans, and what do we have to show for it? But if they actually stopped terrorist attacks, you know how much they would brag about it?
Yeah.
Donald Trump, you know how quickly he'd hold a press conference? I stopped an attack, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, Trump, tremendous, believe me. We spied in on all of you and we stopped this attack. But no such thing, right? I'm not saying they've never done anything effective, but they've unleashed this plague in the world. And do you have any confidence they're gonna catch the guys who did it? So far, they haven't.
And here's one other thing I wanted to make sure everyone knew about. So there is a way to protect yourself, and that way is to ensure that you're updating the software on your computer. In fact, 2 months ago, Microsoft realized that there was this vulnerability because of what was leaked regarding the NSA. And so they created a software update to protect individuals. Now, for you or for me, it's actually relatively easy to just update the software. But when it comes to a large company or when it comes to a hospital, that's actually a very complicated and complex thing to do because you need the computers up and running, right? And so it's also costly. So a lot of these hospitals were unable to do it. And unfortunately, they were victimized as a result of this ransomware. But
somebody made a great point, Anna, about that. They said, Microsoft requires you to pay a lot of money to update your systems. That's almost a ransom in and of itself.
Yeah, if you're a hospital or a large company, yes.
Yeah, I mean, wait. It's your product. If it's vulnerable, why am I paying to update it? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I either have to pay a ransom to Microsoft or I got to pay a ransom to the guys who hijacked my data. And where's the NSA? If it was their fault that they got the information at all, why aren't they paying? But always privatize the gain, socialize the costs. So this cost is on all of us. Brilliant work, NSA. Brilliant. Membership helps fund the Young Turks. You know one great thing about that? That means we're not accountable to anyone but you guys. That's why we're strong together, because we built this show around you. Come build it even bigger and better at tytnetwork.com/join.